Alycia, this next one's for you. This is a question that's come in. And so this question is from obviously somebody that shares your heart of justice. It's a beautiful question. It says, how do we advocate for and serve those who are the most vulnerable when there are so many restrictions in place? How do we do it real time right now?
Yes. You know, and I would even add on to the challenge of that question. How do we reach the most vulnerable when it seems like there's so many of them and it can almost seem overwhelming? You know, one of the things I encourage people to do is, and I'm assuming the restrictions they're talking about are because of the COVID and we're all kind of isolated right now. You know, outside hasn't been open for 7 months, you know, and, one thing I encourage people to do is to always begin with your circles. I think change really starts with, it doesn't always have to start with these big, massive things. How about let's just look around at my people group and let me be the one to listen in my group. Let me be the one to engage in conversation and dialogue in my group. Let me be the one to cry where I need to cry, to ask forgiveness where I need to ask forgiveness, to do better I need to. And so we can do those where we are now because we have phones and we have got the ability. Don't text. Let's not turn this into a text kind of conversation, but we have the ability to be able to have these conversations with people right now, whether it's video like we're doing or even over phone. And let's begin with making changes in our circles. And so even that just begins a small ripple effect that we can already begin to do to start making about change. We don't need to wait for things to happen on a big scale. You know, we are dealing with humans. And human to human interaction is what we need, especially when it comes to pain, especially when it comes to injustice, especially when it comes to suffering. And so I think that's what we can do is say, what are there neighbors? Are there family members? Are there friendships that I can be honest with, that I can invest in? And at least say, if somebody's experiencing injustice over here, at least they can say they're not going to experience that with Alycia. They're not going to experience that with Sonja. They have a different experience with me. And so that is what I would encourage people to do, is start where you're at and begin to plow the ground where you are. Change can happen on small scales. In fact, a lot of change happens on small scales. The civil rights movement in America started very small and it grew, right? So go ahead and allow those individual people that are in your circles to be the beginning of the launch pad of the movement within your own community.